up, guys? This is The Couch, and I'm here with a very special guest. Let's give it up for Timon. Right? That's it, right?
You did it right.
Awesome. Everybody knows this guy. Can you give us a little bit about yourself, a website, and they can find you?
I'm at www.reddirt.biz.
That's hot. And you are a very, very hot, interesting, sexual, spoken word artist that does it all, right?
That's pretty much true. That is pretty much true.
So let us know about, because I know we want to talk about some of our writers, they want to know about how to publish books and how to get started. And I know with Elin Harris, it was like we kind of enjoyed that world with B-Boy Blues, and then you come along and see your stuff. What is it that we need to know to realistically put a book out there?
I mean, part of it is just that the market, especially when Elin Harris first wrote his book, didn't feel like gay books for Black people could sell.
Okay.
And the reason that I went the self-publishing route similar to him was because of his success at shopping books out of the trunk and at different places and book clubs. People felt like people don't want to hear about the type of stuff they're talking about. So in particular, people are waiting to get an agent. I mean, there's a lot of scams out there. I do think people should be very careful. And now, because a lot of people, the bookstores are closing. A lot of people are going online to buy books anyway. So I think it's an advantage, even as opposed to when I first put out Red Dirt Revival. You can go to lulu.com or you can go to eBooks and you can publish books relatively at Lulu, which is where I published my last book.
And Lulu, mind you, is legitimate. So can you get there?
It is legitimate. LULU.com is a legitimate website, and basically you're publishing your book for free. Now there are costs associated. I had to pay a designer to do the cover. I'm not a layout person, so I paid somebody to do layout, but it didn't really cost me anything to publish the book. The site makes money when I sell books.
Okay, now is there a guesstimate on because I know even me being a photographer, is there a guesstimate on how much I should expect to pay a designer, how much I should pay an editor? Like, is there expectations in there, or can you really gauge it for like a friend doing it for free?
I get the gay hookups.
Okay.
So for me, I'm an editor. I'm a copy editor. I do a lot of that. So I'll copy edit somebody's site. I'll write them a bio, and as a favor, they will do my book cover.
Okay. Oh,
so oftentimes, I think in our community, we don't really utilize the resources we have amongst each other enough.
Yes.
Somebody that does web design. What can you do for them? What can they do for you to sort of trade off and really share skill sets? So I didn't have to pay a lot of money in terms of monetary stuff because I have friends that did web design or who did graphic design. I know one guy, I did a house music song for him. I just did spoken word over a house track. And he was like, okay, I'll give you, I'll do a book cover for you because he could actually do graphic design.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, with the success of your book and also other books that you want to come out, is there anybody else that you're working with?
Actually, right now it's a good point to bring that up. I'm actually publishing the first book that's not my own. I established Red Dirt Publishing as a entity to put my own books out, but to also seek other artists and authors who are doing similar kind of work. I don't do fiction, so my work is more so nonfiction, sort of life stories. It's deep, it's serious. People are like, "Who I had to put that book down after one story." So I think, for some people who want the more serious type of reading, I wanted to actually create a place for them as well, because it can be easier to sell novels because people can drift off into their fantasy world and engage that. And I actually tried my hand at fiction for the first time. Lee Hayes did a thing called Flesh to Flesh. It's a erotic anthology. I have a story in there about two boys getting on in San Francisco. But in general, it's definitely Bowker.com is where you go. You can do books through Lulu. They'll give you an ISBN, but in order to sort of establish a publishing entity, you need to go to Bowker. That's BOWKER.com. They give you a set of ISBN numbers, and that does cost.
And what is that? What is ISBN numbers?
ISBN numbers is a unique identifying number. Say on this book, you have this code on the back of any book. When anybody puts that code in, it redirects them to Tim M. West Red Dirt Publishing.
Okay.
Or if I publish somebody else's book, like I'm working on a collection of short stories, which are fiction, by L. Michael Gibson, who you might know as well, and it's called Collisions. He has a unique ISBN number that's already identified. So even before the book is out, I give him an ISBN number, and anytime somebody puts that number in, it brings it back to the book. Or any retail store or anybody.
So it gives it more or less
sells
legitimacy.
it gives it legitimacy because you can use Lulu by itself. They'll give you sort of an ISBN number, but it's not going to connect to your publishing entity. It's just going to be Lulu,
Whatever
it is.
Okay. So again, the Balker, say that?
Balker.com
will get you legitimate.
Right, and then also they have a connection with the Library of Congress.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
Which is the other thing too, is that those international standard book number is the actual term for ISBN.
Wonderful.
Okay. I have a quick question. What do you say to those people who say that your work or work of authors like Elin Harris is not considered literature? It's more of like storytelling, like the kind of downplay.
Poetry. Yeah, like when people try to downplay gay literature as a whole, is it real stories? Is it a gay story? Should it be in the category of gay stories or just stories?
Well, no,
as a
not
whole?
even that. My question is more like there's a difference between like literature. Like people would say like Ellen Agger Poe, or his name was. That's literature. But Elin Harris, that's not literature.
You know, it's really interesting because you know, I'm a native Arkansas, and Elin Harris is from Arkansas, was from Arkansas. I actually, you know, I teach at a university as well, so a lot of people find my writing to be, oh, I really like that because that's real literature, and they will try to pit me against authors like James Doherty, who's a good friend of mine, who is doing more. James Doherty can do academic literature. I think a lot of the ways that we tell our stories as Black people, and particularly as Black gay folks, is through the narrative. And we have an oral tradition in our community, so we don't want to just write about like using high language and theory. And that was really a challenge for me when I wrote my first book because
Did you wanted to use high language?
I wanted to challenge people on certain levels, but I also wanted to do simple stuff as well. So my books are kind of a mix of it all, you know, and I think that also comes from my background as a rapper, as well as a poet, as well as a scholar, is that, you know, I want to push the people to learn a new word. I don't believe that we should always try to dumb stuff down for people. I think, you know, I want my mom to say, oh, I need to look up this word because I know what that meant, baby. You know, but I also want the people in academia at Harvard to go, what are you talking about, you know, butterbeans and grits and you know, what's that? Like, so on both sides, you know, people are
So speaking of degrees, I mean, you're quite a scholar. So when did you graduate from school?
I went to a few places for school. I went to Duke for undergrad. I went to the New School for a master's degree, and then I did a second master's at Stanford.
That's how. So we got a Stanford man in the house. So also,
I tell the Berkeley folks.
How about that? Also, we want to know. I know fan folks want to know if you're single. Because I know last time I heard you speak, you were very married up, and I was all before I was even married up.
I am booed up.
You are booed up.
I am booed.
Okay, that's
it's very new.
That's a new one.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be our next show.
That's actually that would be a good conversation.
We're gonna do it for the next show. This is the couch.
What does it mean?
I mean, what does it sound like?
Oh, okay. What's your name?
Sir Piazza.
Sir Piazza. Lord, I'm Egypt.
I'm Timmons.
Sean.
And it's on. This is the couch. Thanks for watching. We have more of our superstar right here coming back to us. We're gonna do a few shows. Let us know what you think. And thank you so much for coming. And this is our show.